Hello guys, this is Mr. Coco. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want to look at a very important procedure which we are calling neonatal resuscitation. So neonatal resuscitation is coming as a result of the lesson that we had in class, which is asphyxia. So if a baby is asphyxiated, so there should be a procedure which you have to perform, which is called neonatal resuscitation. So for you to perform neonatal resuscitation, you require these things here on this tray. But then my emphasis again comes, you have to be practicing these procedures in the skills lab or in the ward so that you have competence. You shouldn't just watch and leave it there. You have to keep on practicing so that you gain the skill. Okay, so this might not be all, but you need also to put in your input and add whatever equipment that is available. So in this setup, what we're going to do is we're just going to assume some things. Okay, for example, the environment should have a resuscitator. So this environment, we're just going to imagine that this is a resuscitator for the baby, where the baby is placed. So if this is the resuscitator, meaning that the resuscitator should have a heater and should also have maybe some suctioning, some suctioning unit. Okay, so if you have all such stuff, then you can be able to perform resuscitation. And then on the tray, you should be able to have a penguin sucker, then different types of masks. Okay, so that you choose which one fits the baby. Then you should have also the ambu bag as well as the stethoscope. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. Then other things that will prompt you to use all this is maybe heart rate of a baby which is below 100 beats per minute, or maybe you find that heart rate of a baby is maybe 70 or 50. So you're supposed to perform resuscitation. Or we might find that this baby aspirated meconium. So you need to also suction the meconium so that you provide a good air entry for this baby. So here on the pad, I've written some steps that you are going to follow, so that I'm going to guide you through so that you follow them, so that you shouldn't forget as you watch the video which step we are looking at. So I've just written them down so that you follow as I perform the procedure. Then I've got gloves as well as hand sanitizer. So you should use hand sanitizer, or you're going to use water and so. Okay. So as you see here, there are two blankets. This is a receiving blanket, which is maybe say for the inner one and the outer one. So you're going to see what we do as we use these two blankets. You're going to discard one and remain with one. Then in an exam, which may be OSCE, you might find that the baby might be positioned in such a manner. Okay, so it's up to you, the student, to know which position should I position this baby. Are you going to do resuscitation in this position where, as you can see, the head is up here and then the lower limbs are slanty this side? Or is this the position you're going to use? So it's up to you, the student, to know that you're not supposed to perform this procedure in such a position. You're going to turn the baby. So as we start the procedure, you see the first steps or even what to follow. So let me start. How you start is this is happening in the delivery room or in theater or maybe say in labor ward. Okay, so you start by maybe applying hand sanitizer. Okay, so then the examiner will give you to say that perform neonatal resuscitation. Definitely you know that you're supposed to do neonatal resuscitation. So the first thing, you're supposed to call for help. So you're going to shout, "Help!" Okay, asphyxiated baby. Then everybody around who's nearby, the nurses will come by so that they give you help. So after you do that, you're going to wear gloves. Because this is a newly born baby, you're not going to touch a newly born baby with bare hands because of infection prevention issues. Okay? So once you do that, you should be able to quickly go to the resuscitator. Okay? So you quickly go to the resuscitator and switch on. So in this case, the baby is on a resuscitator here. So you're going to tell the examiner that I will switch on the resuscitator. So meaning that you switch on the resuscitator. So my examiner, I have switched on the resuscitator as well as the timer. The resuscitator, meaning that you're going to switch on, the heater will be able to function so that, or to be functional or to function so that you prevent hypothermia. as well as the timer. The timer is to alert you at which stage you are, so that you keep moving with time, so that you see the timing as you are doing this procedure. Okay, so tell the examiner, I have switched on the resuscitator and the timer. Okay, so after you do that, then you're going to wipe the baby, because this baby has got amniotic fluid on its body. So what you're going to do is you're going to wipe. Okay, you wipe. Once you do the wiping, then you can remove this wet receiver. This receiver is wet because you have used it for wiping. As you can see, you're wiping like that. So this receiver or baby blanket, it's wet. So I'm going to remove it like that and discard it or put it aside. Then leave the baby in this receiver. Then cover its head. Okay, you can cover its head. Sometimes if you've got socks, you can put socks on so that to prevent hypothermia. But at least the resuscitator is on, it's radiating some heat on the baby. So at this moment, you're going to turn the baby. Okay, you're going to turn like that. Okay, so once you turn this baby, it will be in a slanted position, or we call it a neutral position, in this manner. Okay, so once you do that, you should be able to, since you have wiped, you should be able now to check. You have just wiped, but then check. So we are here on number 1, if you look at the list. So on number 1, when you wipe the baby now, you have to assess for the following. So meaning that as you assess for the following, you're going to start with heart rate, but you have to be quick. Okay, you check for heart rate. So you're going to wear that stethoscope and put it there. So apical beat. Okay, so when you put there, you're going to say, maybe tell the examiner to say that heart rate below 100, and then respirations you're going to check. You're going maybe to 10 here and see the rise and fall of the chest. You're going to maybe tell the examiner respirations absent. Then appearance, you are since you're resuscitating, you're going to say that the baby appears blue. So this is heart rate, which you should put, say, maybe since it's a scenario, you say, okay, heart rate below 75. Then respiratory rates are not present. Appearance, you be able to assume, so, okay, the baby still appears blue. Then grimacy, meaning that you're looking at activity. The baby is still limp. That's on grimacy, meaning that it's not active. So the baby is still limp. So since you have wiped and on your assessment you have done 1, 2, 3, 4 things, meaning that none of them is satisfactory, you move on to the next step, which is suctioning. So on suctioning, what you do is you get the penguin sucker. So this is a penguin sucker. Then there are even longer ones. This is very short, but you get maybe those longer ones so that they reach up to the intended site for suctioning. So there are 2 sites here for suctioning. We've got the nostrils, we've got the mouth. So here where it also matters where you start from. Should you start from the nostrils or should you start from the mouth, which is a bigger cavity? So you start with the mouth. So you push in the penguin sucker in the mouth until it goes deep, so that up to a point where it can suck meconium. If there's meconium, it should be able to suck the meconium out. So when you press it and then release, meaning it has sucked, then you have to go maybe on a receiver there and remove. Okay, just do that. When you do that, it will come out. Okay, then again, when you do that, meaning it's ready to suck, then you take it back, maybe even twice. You do that and then let go, meaning it has sucked. Then you do that. Okay, so after suctioning, meaning at this point, you have to also, after suctioning the mouth, you have to go now to the nostrils. So suction the mouth, then go to the nostrils. There you do the same, let go, you do that. Okay, again here, you compress, it will suck, then you release from there. So once you suction both the mouth and the nostrils, then you have to assess. So you can make an assessment. So an assessment will still remain the same. You start with the heart rate. So you put your stethoscope on and go there. Okay. So you can tell the examiner to say that the heart rate still below 100, and then respiratory rate, so you can check for the rise and fall of the chest. You still say that absent. Then appearance, the baby still appears blue. Then for grimacy, so you check the muscle tone. Okay, you try to stimulate the baby. For grimacy, meaning that you are looking at activity, and even as you are trying to suck, the baby wasn't moving. So that on grimacy, the baby still is limp. So that's the assessment I've put here. So meaning that's on suction. So meaning this, you proceed to the next step. The baby still hasn't cried. So no activity at this moment, the baby is still not crying. So you go to the third point. Now at this third point, you're going to give what you call rescue breaths. So under rescue breaths, you give it using the bag and mask. So you've got 2 masks here. You're going to try them out. Does this fit? Does this cover the nose and the mouth? No, this is too small, so you can't use this one. So you go to the other one, which is maybe a little bit bigger. So if you check, it covers the mouth and the nose, meaning that this is the right mask. So then you connect the mask to the ambibag. Ambibag, by the way, has to be connected to oxygen. There is a port here where you connect it to oxygen. So this would be connected to oxygen. So then you try it out. Okay, so this ambibag is working. So how you do it, you place it there, covering both the nose and the mouth, and then at least try to make a seal here, or you make a C, and then this C, meaning give consideration to the eyes of the baby. Don't compress the eyes of the baby. So make a seal and then connect there. So let me just interchange so that you see. Make a C there, then just do a little bit of a chin lift or a jaw thrust, just a little bit, so that you support the mask with this C here. Then you can give 5. So 5 rescue breaths will go 1, then this is 1, then 2, okay, you let go, then 3, you allow the baby to breathe, 4, then up to 5. These are 5 rescue breaths, meaning that you're just trying to at least give this baby air to see if the baby will be stimulated and get back to life. Then after that, you're going to reassess. So after you give the 5, like I wrote here, you give the 5 rescue breaths, you should be able now to go to assessment. The assessment, again, you get back to heart rate, respiratory rate, appearance, and grimacy. So you start again the same routine. You listen to the heart rate. Okay, not satisfactory. Then the respiratory rate, okay, also not satisfactory. The appearance, still blue. Then grimacy, if you look at the activity, the baby is still limp, not active. So then this will prompt you now from step 3, which is 5 rescue breaths. You now have to go to 15 breaths. So, sorry, this is not rescue, 15 breaths, okay? So you just have to give 15 ventilations or 15 breaths, which should also be able to assist the baby. So you have to now just go there and give 15. Okay, so you can make the same C here and just make it tight there so that there is no escape of air. Then give 15. So these are not rescue breaths, but just ventilations. So you just have to give 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just keep counting until 15. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then until 15. Okay, so after you are done with that, again, you have to reassess. Okay, so assessment again, you have to go back to heart rate, respiratory rate, appearance, and grimace. So you need to tell the examiner that I'm assessing for the heart rate, okay, not satisfactory, okay, respiratory rate, not satisfactory, then appearance, the baby still blue, and activity, the baby still limp, meaning that you have gone to 4th step. Then when that fails, you've given those 15 breaths, you go now to CPR. When you go to CPR, what you're going to do now is, that's the 5th point, you're going to give 1 ventilation against 3 compressions. So it will be you doing it. Okay, the baby still hasn't cried, so you're not going to let go. Okay, so you're going to do it in this manner. Okay, so you can even hold, if you're right-handed, you can hold there. Okay, so I'm going to give, that's 1. Okay, when you give just 1 ventilation, which is 1, then you go here on the sternum, mid part of the sternum. The sternum is here, okay, right here. So you go mid part of the sternum with 2 fingers, okay. So there you're going to give, after giving one ventilation, give 3 compressions, which is 1, 2, 3. They have to be fast, so just brisk, 1, 2, 3, okay? Then you give again another compression or another ventilation, 1, then another set of compressions, which is 1, 2, 3. Then ventilation will go, making a C here, 1. Okay, so you can show the examiner that you've done even 3 times. You can just go 1, then 1, 2, 3, then 1, 1, 2, 3, then again you go 1, 1, 2, 3. So even at this moment, you have done these compressions, but then the baby still hasn't cried, and you have done the assessment, so you can reassess. The baby still hasn't cried. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to step 6, which is here. You go to step 6, which is transfer to ICU. So transfer to ICU meaning you're going to tell the examiner that my examiner, I will connect this baby to oxygen. So as you cover the baby and swaddle the baby, okay, you're going to connect the baby to oxygen, okay? So you're going to tell the examiner, okay, my examiner, this baby hasn't cried, so I'm going to connect the baby to oxygen and take to ICU for further management. So you'll be able to take the baby to ICU. Then as you come back, you should tell the examiner that I'm going to cancel the mother, so which is step 7. We're going to cancel the mother, meaning at this point you should be able to explain why have you taken this baby to ICU. So you should be able to explain, I've taken this baby to ICU so that the baby is cared for. So it will be neonatal ICU, okay? So you explain to this mother so that the mother is able to understand why the baby has gone to ICU. Thereafter, you tell the sister in charge that you have done neonatal resuscitation, you have documented, and you have cancelled the mother. Then you can later on wash your hands. But then another scenario can come whereby the baby has cried. Maybe at step 5. You do your CPR, then the baby cries. The examiner will tell you that the baby has cried at step 5. So what do you do here? You are not going to transfer the baby to ICU, but you give some IEC or counseling to the mother, but you're not going to transfer. So you're going to give the baby to the mother, and you're going to tell the mother to perform kangaroo care. So you're going to give the baby to the mother in that instance where the baby cried and you did not take to ICU. So there are those scenarios which can occur. You can be told by the examiner, the baby has cried, so the point of transfer to ICU, you shall not take to ICU, but you just be able to give the mother to perform kangaroo care. So those are different scenarios. Then there are also other scenarios where they will say that this baby had an APGAR score of maybe 3, okay? 3, or maybe 2 to 3. What do you do first? Do you wipe first or do you suction first? So meaning in that case, you're going to suction first, then wipe. If the baby had APGAR score of say 5 to maybe 6, you're going to wipe, then suction first. So those are just the differences which are there, okay? The issue of taking the baby to ICU, when maybe the baby cried on resuscitation or CPR, then you did not take. You have to give the mother the baby. And an instance where they give you an APGAR score maybe 2 to 3, 2 to 4, they will say that this baby is maybe needs urgent care. So you suction first, then wipe the baby. If APGAR score is 5 maybe or 6 and above, you're supposed to wipe the baby, then do the suctioning. So those are just the minor differences. So what you do with this procedure now, you have to really go through it quickly because it's only 5 minutes. So 5 minutes you're supposed to go through all the steps. Meaning that what you do, just to go back, what you do first, you turn on the resuscitator and the timer. Then also call for help, meaning scream for help. We're going to say asphyxiated baby, help. Then after that, need to wipe the baby and turn the baby, meaning the position of the baby. So how it was at first. So turn the baby so that the head is on a slanty side. Okay, and then after wiping, you do the assessment: heart rate, okay, respiratory rate, appearance, and grimace. When you do that step, there is no satisfactory result. You go to the next one where you suction. When you suction, starting with the mouth, okay, then you are followed by the nostrils. You do that, then there is no satisfactory result. You assess and no result which is satisfactory. You go to the 5 rescue breaths. You give 5. After you give 5, you reassess. After that reassessment, the result not satisfactory, you go to the 15 breaths. You give the 15 breaths, no satisfactory results after assessment, then you go to CPR. So under CPR, you give 1 ventilation to 3 compressions. If the baby cries here, I said you give the mother for kangaroo care. If the baby does not cry at this point, you transfer to ICU or the baby is connected to O2, which is oxygen. Then get back to the mother for counseling. Counsel the mother why you have taken this baby to ICU. So this has to be performed in exactly 5 minutes. So take time to practice so that you know the procedure step by step. Thank you very much for watching.